Australians, let us all rejoice, for we are young and free. But we don't have a YouTube to call our own. Now, as one of the most prominent Australian YouTubers on YouTube.com, I've been receiving a lot of email over the last 24-hour period since the new YouTube thing went live. You know, that lovely country localization thing going on in the corner up there with the little flag? Well, despite me being in Australia and listed in my profile as being in Australia, that flag up there, it's the American flag. And I don't find that particularly offensive. I'm dating an American, for crying out loud. I quite like the country. Or at least one of the people from there. Anyway, so I've been getting a lot of mail and people are getting all bent out of shape about how Australia was skipped. And Canada was skipped also, and South Africa skipped. Now, I don't speak for YouTube on this issue. I have written to Damien, the community guy, who's also Australian, by the way, and explained and passed on your concerns to him. Explained to him that a lot of Australians are a little miffed about being passed over. A little miffed. Now, I am going to defend the situation. Shocking, I know. Blunter going against the grain, saying controversial things. Oh no! What will he say next? No, it's really quite simple. The reason I think Australia was skipped, for now, YouTube have explained in their blog, this isn't the be-all and end-all. This isn't the list, the end. They are going to continue this thing in the future. The reason Australia was skipped, well, comparatively speaking, we have a smaller population than the other English-speaking countries that got in, like the UK and Ireland. No, wait, our population is bigger. Well, must have something to do with population density, perhaps. The other reason is, I think the number of people using YouTube in the UK and Ireland, being the other English-speaking places, they've got their own when English-speaking places, like the entire country of Australia, the biggest island in the world, got skipped, simply because broadband internet in Australia sucks. It's relatively slow when compared to everywhere else in the world. It's very expensive compared to everywhere else in the world. So broadband penetration in Australia isn't quite where it should be. And people who do have broadband don't have the cheaper plans, and the YouTube doesn't work so well because they're incredibly slow and wouldn't be called broadband in most other countries in the world. So there's not as many Australian people using YouTube. I mean, YouTube can look at the server logs and say, well, we get a lot of users from the UK, we get a lot of users from here, and Brazil, and whatever, Japan. They should be our priority. And so they should. I'm guessing that Australia we don't have the penetration of YouTube usership to make us a priority for the first section of this rollout. So to the Australians out there, thank you for writing to me and letting me know that this has got you a bit on edge. I hope you weren't too shocked when I came out in defense of YouTube, because I'm a proud Australian. I like Australia. It's a nice place to live. Comparatively speaking, it's a very nice country. We've got some problems, some big problems. But I'd rather be here than a lot of other places. So. But anyway, like I said, I spoke to Damien, fellow Australian. He works for YouTube. He's the community advocate. And he's assured me he's passed our concerns along to the big chairs and the big desks over at YouTube. So they are getting the message. And hopefully the message is loud enough for them to go, oh, maybe we shouldn't have forgotten about Australia and Canada and South Africa. We better fix this. Hopefully. You know, I've got no idea what the rollout is like. You know, they may have it all set in stone and carefully planned out and, you know, carefully dividing up the resources they've got to make it as smooth as possible and only doing a few at a time. I don't know. I'm just saying. There may be a good reason why Australia was skipped for now. Don't feel slighted, you know, it's going to be okay. I'm sure in a relatively short amount of time there will be a YouTube.com.au, baby. That's my 2 cents. Incidentally, when Australians say that's my 2 cents, it's kind of irrelevant because we got rid of our 1 and 2 cent coins long ago. The smallest denomination is a 5 cent coin these days, so that's my 5 cents, I guess. Catch you next time. Did I do the hello again at the beginning of this video? I don't think I did. I went straight into it. Oh, and in case you're wondering, that bit at the beginning of the video, Australians all let us rejoice for we are young and free, that's part of our national anthem. It's a really sucky national anthem, quite honestly. Nobody knows the second verse.